here today with Joe Gilchrist, and we're at the Malibu Lounge. Joe, tell us a little bit about the Frank Brown International Songwriters Festival, a little bit about the history of it.
Well, at the Floribama, and indeed another club I had before that, the Townhouse, I was lucky enough to bring great musical characters together. And Ken Lambert and Jimmy Lewis were amongst the early players, and Jay Hawkins and others. And I just started having a quality of excellence, and through that more players came. I got to meet wonderful people, Hank Cochran, who was a wonderful man and a wonderful writer of music, Dean Dillon, Red Lane, and by bringing them together, they encouraged me to meet other people who are singer-songwriters. So people like Harlan Howard and all these people who people in the music industry would know and appreciate, but are rarely known by other people. But their music is incredible. I'm lucky enough to do the Songwriters Festival that shows respect to these people.
So how did the Frank Brown International Songwriters Festival, how did it get its name? Who is Frank Brown?
Mr. Frank was the old black night watchman at the Floribama when I started. And he became such a father figure to all of us, especially the musicians, that we tried to incorporate him into things. And at the end of the year, we had a little gathering to show our respect to him in the fall. And he ended up working the Floribama until he was 91. He was a huge man. His fists were one knuckle short of that big. He'd been a prize fighter in 1917. He was an amazing character. So it was our way of showing respect to him. And if his name lives on through the music and what we do in our community, then that makes me proud.
What can people expect whenever they come out to the Songwriters Festival?
Well, first of all, you'll hear people doing songs you've heard all your life, and they're the ones that wrote them. And typically I find that the people that create a song have just a little extra bit of emotion in their songs when they perform it, and you can feel it. It's just something that they love what they do and what they have done, and the ability to communicate that to people is a special skill.
Give me a ticket for an airplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lord, that is gone. I'm coming home. My baby wrote me a letter. I don't care how much money I got to spend. Got to get back to my baby again. Lord, that is gone. I'm coming home. My baby wrote me a letter. Well, she wrote me a letter. Said you're gonna live without me no more. Listen, mister, can't you see I got to get back to my baby once more? Anyway, give me a ticket for an airplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone. I'm coming home. My baby wrote me a letter. 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 Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Man, how cool to be back at the Floribama. We were here for the first time a couple of months ago and just, like everybody, fell in love with it. They asked us to come back for the Frank Brown Festival, and we didn't hesitate. This gentleman over here, he lives in Los Angeles, California, went to school at Georgia, born in New York, all over the map, spends a lot of time in Nashville. He has, my gosh, written songs, such a wide variety of artists. People like Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Mel Tillis, Alison Krauss, yes, Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion, Clint Eastwood even got one of his songs and a #1 with it. Ray Charles, I could go on and on and on. TV, Murphy Brown theme, the Growing Pains theme, the Reba, show. He did the music for that. Movies, so many Clint Eastwood films, and Pure Country, George Strait. You're going to hear stories like you just won't believe. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Dorff.
Great. I really enjoy hanging with my, songwriting brothers, because we never really, it's a very lonely process, sitting in a room and writing songs by yourself or sometimes with others. So the awards dinners and the festivals are the one time we can kind of all get together and hang out and compare notes.
I've been so fortunate with not only the character from this area, but when people started coming here from Nashville and other places around and sharing their music, they could feel the love of the people that were here. So it wasn't like people that were Grammy Award winners came in and just dominated everything. They were part of the music scene. And that, I think, is what makes the Frank Brown Festival so special.
It sounds like an amazing, intimate moment. Tell me about some of the people that have come that you haven't expected. Any celebrities?
Well, to me, it's not so much about celebrities, although a good many well-known people have cycled through our area and been at least peripherally involved. But most of the musical characters are the songwriters, and they're not necessarily well known. But you get somebody like Dean Dillon, who wrote a song that's very popular now called Tennessee Whiskey, and Hank Cochran, who had written #1 songs in 6 different decades. The magic that people bring that are the creators of songs is not related to their fame to the general public, but how wonderfully they can create music. These are people that have played all over the world, but they're not necessarily household names.
Back about 1984, I got the privilege and honor to meet a man by the name of Hank Cochran. Went up to his house one night. Jeannie Seeley introduced me to him, and he said, "Play me a song." And I played him a song, and he said, "Play me another one." Played him another one. Well, about 4 hours later, he said, "All right, that's enough." We spent the better part of 6 years on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean and writing songs. And we was down in West Palm Beach one night and anchored out. And earlier that day, he and I and a guy named Royce Porter had written a song called Homecoming 63 that Keith Whitley recorded. And that was about 2 o'clock, so Hank and I started partying. Royce got on a plane, flew back to Nashville because he knew better. About 4 o'clock in the morning, I drunk myself sober. I don't know, it just hit me. I looked over at Hank and he was sitting there, and I said, "Well, excuse me, but I think you got my check." That one not taken, I don't mind if you sit here. I'll be glad to share, yeah, it's usually packed here on Friday night. Well, if you don't mind, could I talk you out of a light? Well, thank you, could I drink you a bite? Oh, listen to me. What I mean is, can I buy you a drink? Anything you please. Okay, I'll get it in a minute. Oh, you're welcome Well, I don't think I called your name. Are you waiting for someone to meet you? Well, makes two of us glad you came. No, I don't know the name of the band, but they're good. Aren't they? Would you like to dance? Yeah, I like this song too. It reminds me of you and me, baby. Do you think there's a chance later on I could drive you home? No, I don't mind at all. I like you too, and to tell you the truth, that was in my chair after all. Oh, I like you too, and to tell you the truth, oh, that was in my chair after all. Do, 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 do.
But we've had a lot of
Thank you.
pretty well known. Jimmy Buffett was always nice to us and still has been. I met him originally through Kenny Stabler, who was one of our neighbors. And the number of people that have cycled through there is just amazing, because we've probably had a couple of thousand different songwriters come through. So it's just all about fun and sharing music.
Do you have any favorite stories that you like to share, or unexpected things?
Well, there have been a variety of interesting events. What's kind of fun was we used to close down the Floribama at 2 in the morning and take 10 cases of beer and a case of wine and go to my beach house, which was just 600 feet away, and there'd be 30 or 40 people there doing music, hanging out, sitting by the back, looking out over the Gulf, and just the musical environment was just special.
Talk to me a little bit about the impact that the Songwriters Festival has on our local market and the community.
The interesting thing about that is we have people that come here from all over the world, and they go back all over the world and all over America and talk about the area and talk about the people they've met here and the physical beauty of our beaches and how nice the people are that are from here. So it means a lot to me, because literally every year we bring 250 songwriters in, and they go all over the world and talk about our community. And because of that, we have really great singer-songwriters that come through here. For instance, John Rich of Big and Rich comes by and plays, and there are just so many wonderful people that have come through here, from David Allen Coe to Billy Joe Shaver to just, it's not so much performing artists, but there are a lot of them that have been here. So it's just like having a constantly rotating scene of characters.
When and where does the Songwriters Festival take place? I understand it's a lot of different venues.
Well, we have had up to 30 different venues. We go from the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, Fairhope areas, through Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Perdido Key, Pensacola. The whole idea is to spread the number of singer-songwriters through the community so more people can experience it. And it just becomes an opportunity for people in our community, as well as the people that are coming here, to share. And the number of new friends people make, the number of lifelong acquaintances that are made, is an impressive byproduct of what we did.
There's things that happen all year round. Can you talk to us a little bit about the impact on schools?
We use the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival and the friends that has allowed us to create to encourage students to be more involved in creative writing, to understand how poetry is a way of expressing yourself, and songs are basically poetry to music, and story songs, short stories, they're compacted into little bitty things. And we have found that part of our social responsibility in our community is to help the schools. I used to be a school teacher, so I know that sometimes it's amazing what impact you can have with just little things that influence people when they're younger.
Absolutely. Joe, seriously, thank you again. I very much appreciate all the hard work that you've done and everything that you've really put in and poured into this festival.
Well, I'm very fortunate because literally there are hundreds of people, in addition to the hundreds of musicians that come. And they do this out of love for community and love for the fact that music makes the world a better place. And so what we're trying to do is encourage people to enjoy their lives and then use music as part of that. And especially if you can come to the Frank Brown Festival, you'll meet and see some of the greatest original music you could ever hope to see.
Thank you again, Joe. And everybody, go check out the webpage. It has scheduling information, artist information, and don't forget to check out Facebook as well. Again, we look forward to seeing you at the Songwriters Festival.